In order for us to achieve our peak performance edge, I suppose it'd be beneficial if we knew what that meant. Hi, I'm Rich Sands, so today let's explore what is peak performance. I like the quote we used in our intro video from Neotherapy that went like this. Peak performance is the maximum enhancement of all mental, emotional, physical, and situational elements that let us reach optimal level. Again, it's not just physical, it's not just the act of doing something at our best effort. It's a combination of elements that cause us to deliver a peak performance. Now, Greg Wells, PhD, said this about peak performance. Peak performance is a state that is also known as peak experience, the zone of optimal functioning and flow. It refers to a moment when an individual puts it all together, when they are in the zone, when everything flows, and when they achieve an exceptional performance. Now, there are some words and phrases that Wells uses that I really like. First, the zone of optimal functioning. To me, the key here is two things. Optional functioning being me, or you, performing at our max, and just that, performing at our max. And we'll come back to that in a bit. Next, it's referred to as the time when we put it all together. As mentioned in our first video, there's no singularity to peak performance. To be at the peak performance edge, we must be more than just doing, knowing, feeling, and whatever. It's the whole experience that creates the edge. Wells also uses the words zone and flows. In its essence, your peak performance edge is not something you try to do. In fact, it's best achieved when it just happens. No, not by accident, although the better you get at it, the more accidental it can become. Peak performance happens when you achieve the peak performance state. In a book called Athletic Excellence, a guy named Jim Loehr wrote these awesome words when he talked about what happened to him when he wanted to do better and he tried to do better. He said this, I was bound and determined to succeed, and I wanted to win in the worst way. I wanted to prove to myself and to everyone else that I could do it. And so my answer was simple. Try harder and be stronger. We've heard that one before, right? No one ever told me that by trying softer, not harder, might be the key, or that inner calmness would bring strength. You don't make the zone or the flow or the edge happen. It just does when you create the environment for your peak performance. You create the perfect storm, so to speak, and it happens within the 6 pillars of peak performance. Planning, leadership, excellence, attitude, service, and energy. To me, the coolest part of all of this is the idea of optimal level. Optimal level means the optimal level for me or for you. Peak performance is our peak performance and doesn't have to be compared to that of anybody else. Could I perform at my peak performance edge and not make the sale? Could I not save a relationship? Could I still fail? And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. And that's both the beauty and the curse of peak performance. You can do your best, operate at your peak, flow like crazy, and maybe still be unsuccessful. Yet at the same time, I can only be the best me that I can be. The best me that I'm capable of being. So you measure your peak performance edge. You decide if you're excellent enough. You decide if you have the right attitude. You decide if you serve others without dwelling on your own self-interest. And you decide whether you love without conditions. The peak performance edge is there for anyone who chooses and takes the responsibility to be the best they can. I'm Rich Sands. Check out my website at www.richsandsseminars.com for more insights into peak performance. Thanks.